Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Minerva Morrow. Good evening. Welcome again to another Able USA Facebook Live, where we have exciting guests on our show talking on a variety of topics, education and business. We really promote small businesses, especially during this pandemic. It's been difficult, especially for small businesses. So, having this broadcast really helps those to get known. We look at celebrities and very famous people on Facebook Live Chat and other platforms, but sometimes there are ordinary people that do extraordinary things. So take a minute to share this link to whoever may want to listen. We do record it, and so it is available not only on Facebook Live Chat or on the Able USA Facebook page, but also we're on YouTube. So if you want to learn more about our past shows with the interesting topics and interesting people, go to YouTube and search for Dr. Minerva Morrow. So welcome again. And, in the past, we've had, exciting topics. We had an author who talked about her book. We had a state representative talk about education equity. We talked about filing taxes because this is the season for it. And last week we talked about a machine, an air filter that is very useful in cleaning the air and keeping us safe, especially during this pandemic. So tonight we have a special guest. I've had a couple of people from Aruba email me and text me and said, "Hey, we want to be on the show, or can you find other people that are internationally as well? We want to hear from them." And I thought that was a great idea, especially during the pandemic, because these platforms, internet online platforms, they give us the opportunity to get to know other people locally, internationally, nationally, that maybe normally we won't be in contact with. So I agree. And so I knew a very special person, lady. Her name is Suzy Maduro. I've had her help me with broadcasting of a TV show, an educational TV show in Tampa. And some people wanted me to also let Aruba know. So she was very instrumental in getting that done. So I thank her. She is a communications and public relations expert. Like I said, her name is Suzy Maduro of Suzy Consultancy, and she does an excellent job, and it's such an honor for her to be named by the New York Times as women leaders to watch in Aruba. So, with no further ado, I would like to welcome Suzy Maduro from Aruba, from the Suzy Consultancy. Welcome, Bombini. Hi, Suzy. How are you this evening?
Hi, Dr. Morrow. Thank you for having you in your program, your live program streaming.
Yes, thank you for being there. I'm so excited that I can see you're in your home. So thank you for taking the time to be on the show today.
Yes, even though I come from a small island like Aruba, you came from Aruba too. I have been to school in the U.S. Many years ago. I won't say the dates, but then you will
Okay.
know my age. But when I came back from college, I started to work in different sectors. I started in the hotel sector because I couldn't find a job in journalism. But I graduated in a bachelor's of science in journalism. So I went to work in the hotels doing PR. So then I always kept going into public relations. Then suddenly I got a job opportunity in the government, and I became the assistant of the press secretary of the government of Aruba. And that was a great opportunity for me to get another kind of network. So I got a network in the hotel sector, and then I got a network in the government. And it's good to know where you have to be in the government, especially when you want to have your permissions, your what you need to do to get going in your business. And then I went to work for the biggest telecom company in Aruba, and that was for me the longest I worked there because every time it was something new. So that's why it kept me busy. So even though I went to school for journalism, I went into another sector and other sectors, which I used my abilities that I learned at Bowling Green State University to apply in my daily jobs. And I have to say that that helped me a lot. And even though now that I decided to go and have my own consultancy, because that was my dream to uh, end my career with my own consultancy and give back what I have inside of experience to other young people or same people, and so they teach them so they can be successful also in what they want to do. And to say the least, I started before COVID, and I started to do seminars about basics of public relations, etc. And I got many people coming, and it was nice in a nice place with something to eat, air conditioning, and I would get 15 people one night. I would do it like once a month, and they would be willing to pay to come and see me and hear me speak. But when the COVID hit, we're from a small island, so all the income started to shut down. People were not, they wanted to buy food, not, buy education at that time. They were more focused in how am I going to do to keep my actual job right now. So then
Sure.
so we closed down and all these things we had to do at the beginning. They shut down the airport, all this, and the tourists were not able to come, and our majority of income is from the tourism
Sure.
industry. So it started to get not so good, but then the government started to do different things to help. And one of the things that they did is they give the people some kind of loan, or it's not a loan, like
Like
an amount.
similar to our stimulus check, some kind of
Yeah, like a
assistance.
stimulus check, and that
Sure.
helped a little bit. And then we started to really take care of the COVID. So the campaign, keep safe, etc., etc., um, keep social distance. And now we are at the stage that in Aruba, everybody is getting vaccinated. Some people are still hesitant. Like, for example, I had to do it first, so my parents could see that I didn't get ill, and now they went to get there. So it's a matter of hesitant people that are like, there are so many conspiracy theories online that people are a little bit scared of. And but some people are brave like me. I just say, oh, you do what you have to do to stay alive. So I went and got it. And that's very nice that now Aruba is getting vaccination and everybody is understanding why. So more tourists are coming because the ones that dare to come, they send back home information and pictures like, hey, the beach is safe. There is not many people.
Okay, great.
Hotels. And people are safe. You have all these alcohol things that you have to wash your hands and all these precautions. So even if we got vaccinated, we still have to enter all establishments with our, um, covered our mouth with the mouth cap, and also make sure we have the alcohol or lotions that are um, to clean yourself and wash your hands, all these things that need to be done. So
Got it. So just to let those, I see you have a couple of fans. Thank you, Rena Lacle, who is happy to see you. And for those who are just tuning in, we are talking with Suzy Maduro of Suzy Maduro Consultancy. She is a communications and public relations expert in Aruba, an island in the Caribbean, about 15 miles of Venezuela, north of Venezuela. It's one of the popular hot vacation spots in the Caribbean. And so she's not only going to talk about herself and her consultancy, but she's talking a little bit about the situation in Aruba and the safety precautions that they're taking for going to Aruba for the people on the island and for tourists. So welcome again, Suzy. And her topic tonight is be the best you can be during COVID times. So yes, so you're saying in Aruba, people are starting to get the vaccine, they're getting more comfortable. And, so people are traveling to Aruba, I would imagine, correct?
Yes, and we're so happy to say that they're traveling. They only have to take a COVID test before they arrive. And you can find all information on the Aruba website, www.aruba.com.
Got
And
it.
we have people that, because we have repeat visitors, they come every year, they have
Sure.
timeshares, and only the elderly I have contact with a few people I know. They say, we will do it next year. So they didn't come this year. They will come next year because
Are you saying that when the tourists go to Aruba, they have to be vaccinated, or will they have to be tested so that they know whether they're negative or positive? How does that work? Do you know?
well, for now, they just have to do a test. If they're
Got it.
positive or negative. If they're positive when they arrive in Aruba, we have at the airport, we have laboratories that will do it for you. And if you're positive, for example, you will be guided to go somewhere where you're going to be isolated and with everything that you need. And if it's negative, of course, you can go where you made reservations and you can have a blast because the beaches are not so crowded and they have the hold the distance. They have all things in place at the airport, and the cab drivers also they have to be controlled by. We have a certification. You have to have a certification of the government of Aruba that you are clean. That they check that you have procedures to prevent further spreading of the virus. So it's pretty safe to be in Aruba, and I have to say that you just have to be careful, just like in your country,
Sure.
and don't go drinking so you go crazy and you don't know what they're doing. So
Sure.
moderate and have fun, and the beach is open air, so you don't need to have much protection. Just stay your distance from people. Don't have agglomeration. And we have some things in effect, like for the restaurants, you have to have like for now till April 11th, I think they have stricter rules so we can control the virus, and then we will see. They will reevaluate the things. But in restaurants, you have to have two people at each table, which is okay if you're on your honeymoon. You don't need more people. But if you're with a family, you have to make some arrangement or eat at the hotel where you are. So let them bring it delivery or just eat at the hotel.
There you go.
But
And you can never go wrong with the beach because the
it's
beach
open
is
air. Yeah.
long enough and wide enough that you can keep your distance. So we're going to go back to you now. So you went to Bowling Green University in Ohio, and then you went back to Aruba. So what are you doing currently with your business, and how do you serve the community?
Well, I was just saying before that before COVID, I was planning, I had another business plan. But after COVID, I have a new business plan and it's constantly changing. because
Absolutely.
constantly you find other people that needs other needs that you say, oh, I can do that, I can do
Sure.
this. And for example, I didn't sit still. Of course, I have a group which I have networks all over, but I have this network with these 6 ladies, and we are trying to export our products and services. And we work very closely with the economic department of the government. And this is a safe way to do it through, online, talk to people. And I think this is going to be the future, that you don't need to be together to create great things. You be in
Absolutely.
physically, I mean, but you can come together on a platform like this one and still make great plans and follow up on it and have meetings and do great things. So this is another opportunity, because
Absolutely.
everybody else is maybe camera shy, they don't want to be on screen. But this is forcing everybody to be more vocal, to be taking better of themselves, and
Absolutely.
that's a good thing, because I make my parents laugh. I say, you know what's funny? Some people didn't even know how to wash their hands. They had to learn how to wash their hands.
Yes.
And we went to school with a Catholic school, and we had to really wash our hands. So we got to learn, but some people didn't go to Catholic school, so they did, because they forced us to really wash your hands totally, like, and
Definitely.
and have strict rules about that, because they're checking if your nails are cut and all these things,
Got
which
it.
which is exaggerated. But now I say, oh, that was a good education actually.
Absolutely, absolutely, because it forced us to be more hygienic and clean. And yes, there's some disadvantages because you miss people, you miss hugging people, shaking their hands. But this situation really forces us to be even more creative and communicate at a different level. So, for those who are here, don't forget to comment or ask any questions. We appreciate that. We're here with Suzy Maduro, who is a expert in communications and public relations. She's situated in Aruba, the island of Aruba in the Caribbean, and she was sharing with us about the COVID situation there, how safe it is to go there, and all the precautions that are being taken to ensure that the citizens of Aruba are safe, but also the tourists. And so you mentioned that you're going to share a couple of things, a couple of strategies or tips on how to be the best you can be during COVID. Um, Go at it. What are some of the things that you've learned and you like to share with us tonight?
Well, I was giving a chance to give a workshop in the hotel sector that just opened back a few months ago, and their level of motivation was like to the floor, because they had pay cuts, they had to do more, with the cleanliness, but also hygienic situation. And what I did was I asked them to tell me what they liked before the COVID and what they don't like now. So then they wrote all this. I got this fabulous feedback, and I told them the only thing I can not promise them is a higher paycheck.
There you
But
go.
but then we went and talked about things that could be done, little things to keep people positive. And that's how I try to do in my motivational speeches, like, okay, what can we do to make our people that work with us feel more relaxed and comfortable, and work with the little things we have. And then it's pretty easy for me. Just have to regroup, go back from the beginning. When we were children, we were not drinking a lot of soda. We just drink water. It was better for us. So just go back to the basic. Don't buy things that you don't need. Buy the basic things and drink the basic things. And then if you don't have the money, don't try to buy things that you don't need. And those are basic strategies. And in the back then, you had like people write with each other to go to work,
Sure.
less gasoline, and maybe try to live a simpler life. We don't have to be rich. We just have to be able to live a comfortable life. And
Mhm.
a lot of people in the last decades were getting very greedy, and you can see it in the news. Like many people are doing strange things that they're being accused of, um, and then they get caught.
Absolutely.
And I mean, why do you do those things? You will get caught anyway. So the best thing is to try to live in your own means, by your own means.
Got it.
And
Not above your means,
yes,
because these are difficult times, and actually, that strategy was even very important. Of course, my parents are Arubans, and my dad passed away, and I always remember my mom saying, live below your means. Just because you have doesn't mean that you have to spend it all or even live above your means, and because you never know what can happen. And sure enough, I think that's one of the best advice she gave me. So excellent. So live within your means, make things simpler, make support each other in your environment, your family, your colleagues. What else?
come up with barter deals. You don't have money to pay for a service, but I have something I can do for you, and you have something you can do for me. So
Got it.
make agreements, and like they did in the past, also make agreements and promote the other and help each other, because in the long run, the benefits will come because people will know that how you work and what you're doing. For example, in Aruba now, I mean, I'm doing public relations. So what I do is I promote people, mostly women, but people that want to be known for what they're doing, because people don't know what they're doing. And
Sure.
In Aruba, we're very little. We import nearly everything, and it's harder to get your means. So
Sure.
the best thing is to try to, if you know a lot of people, you can find out a solution. But if you don't know anybody and you don't tell anybody what's the matter, that can have consequences that are not good. So what I'm trying to do is I'm reaching out to my friends. Usually, I have friends in the States too, my old roommates. I have many friends, and my Facebook is, I have like 21,000 and something followers, because they're friends I made through the years. And when
Sure.
Facebook came, it made it easier for me to communicate with them. And that's the
Definitely.
beauty of it. We have so many tools that we can use. We just have to think on the means, or how the manners we can use to make best use of it. And what I'm going back to, else be the best you can be in the COVID times, is keep keep your state of mind in a tranquil way, because I see a lot of people are getting, especially when finances are having problems, people will get mad, they scream at each other, they have temperaments. So usually I try to tell them, you have to count till not 10 but 100, and just think, some people have it worse than you. So
Absolutely.
try to promote that. It's a promotion of, you know plant some tomatoes in your yard, but give to your neighbor. If they have something else, they will give you, and you will give them tomatoes, and you will make a salad. They have celery, or just crop, some other vegetable, and you will have your food. But we
Definitely.
have to go back to that state of mind, that you're not working for the money and to get rich. We're working now for survival of the humankind. And actually, that's how it's supposed to be. Go back to the basics. Go back to the basics and start from scratch. That's all we have to do, is that, because if you are going to be working to get money, more power, etc., it's not going to work anymore because the world has changed.
Absolutely.
The sooner you become aware of this, the better, because a lot of us changed. We became arrogant when we got a great job. We have to have the great Gucci bags and the shoes. That doesn't matter anymore. People are dying. It's something else. So those are not important anymore. Just
It forces us to look at our values, what's really important. And I know that, my family was always important to me. But for example, I've had more opportunities to talk to my adult sons more than I ever did before, or actually knew people. We had a women's retreat, and we actually had people from all over the United States. It wasn't a big group, but there were, several women from different parts of the world that only knew me, maybe, but they didn't know each other, and also people from Aruba, and we were able to come together and talk about, time management. What are we going to do? How do we survive? How to set goals, and how to, accomplish our goals, but also, how to connect. So these people didn't know each other, but then now they connected with each other, and actually we got to pray with one another. And I thought that was so important because there were women from different cultures, different race, and different faiths. And you're right. We have to make do with, um, what we have, and really think about how we can not give up, but think about new ways of doing things, and really think about the important things in life. So, how was it received? How did the people of Aruba receive? I imagine is in Aruba that you did your
yeah.
sessions. How do they accept it, or what's their reaction?
Yes, because you have to be humble first. Once you're humble, the people will also be humbled, because at the beginning they're very closed. They don't want to tell you anything because you might be working for the boss, you know. So you have to really. I have it is a 3 hour session, and believe it, I talk for 3 hours.
Wow.
I take little breaks for coffee or water or the bathroom, but then uh, we continue for the restroom, and then we continue. But the thing is, you have to have a passion for that, because you have to believe it yourself to be able to convey it. But one thing, Dr. Morrow, for me is important, and you as an educator and a person that worked for the school system in the US, but also in here in Aruba, the generations that we have now, they need to learn all these things also, to because they don't know the things that we made as when we were younger, because they were grown up with all these luxuries. It's automatic. When you became 16, you get a car, for example, for most families. And then you help drive people in the car and etc. But in reality, it is better if you work for your own things. And
Absolutely.
in the education system right now, would be the best thing to be the best you can be in COVID times is to educate, re-educate yourself. So if I don't know about accountancy, and I'm starting a business, I have to go back and learn. Check out online who is giving what, so I can get that information, get that education that I lack. Not no one knows everything,
Absolutely.
so I can contact you and get information. And if you give a course, I'll be glad to take it, because then I learn something new that can help me in my future. But you have to be prepared. Uh, I always say, when there is nothing happening, just read a book. Start preparing yourself for the next step. And it's so funny because when I was younger, I was like, when do I finish school? When do I finish school? You know? And
Yeah,
now I'm saying we need to continue to educate ourselves continuously to keep up with what's going on, but also to reinvent ourselves.
that's great.
But
So how do people get a hold of you? Obviously, Aruba is small, and people think everybody knows everybody, but that's not always true. And I think you said you service people outside of the United States as well. So can you give us a little bit of your information, your
yes,
email, where to communicate with you, connect with you?
well, they can send me an email by mailing me at contact@suzymaduro.com. And I have a website. They can go to my website and learn more things about me at www.suzymaduro.com. And my phone number is, yeah, it's long distance, but you can WhatsApp me. It's,
Definitely.
you have to put plus in front of 297 592 2425.
Repeat that last one again, the phone number on WhatsApp, which that's how we communicate internationally with different family members and people around the world. Say it again.
You have to put a plus sign and then 297 for the Aruba country code, 297, and then my phone number, which is 592 2425.
So tell me, what kind of services, you're a communications expert and public relations expert, what type of services do you offer?
Besides motivational speaking, of course, because when I started school in the US, it was because we didn't have a university in Aruba at that
Got it.
time. So I went through all these things that I can share, but through uh, motivational speeches, I share with the people and I check what they need and I motivate them in that direction so they can make um, better use of these tools to enhance their future. But besides that, my first love is writing.
Okay.
So I went to school for journalism because I love writing. So if you're writing a book, I can help you
Okay.
with that. If you want me to write a press release, or you want me to organize a press conference, or you want to do yeah, a press conference today. Nowadays they have it also through the digital world. But I'm very well in content writing. So if you need to have content, you don't have time, you have a business, you want me to write content, you just feed me what you want, and then I make the research and I write it, and then you, of course, will check if it agrees with you. And I can keep up with your information on your Facebook or your LinkedIn. I can also arrange for professional photographers because your image is very important. So we can have photos, professionally taken pictures, and those can be used for different purposes
Definitely.
for your social media platform, or for if you want to become president, you know,
Never
anything.
know. You never know. So you help with all of that. So that's great. So I don't know if people in Aruba realize it, but to be named by New York Times as one of the women leaders to watch in Aruba, that's a big deal. And so I was really proud, honestly, when I saw that article. So before you told me, I saw that article, and I saw a few of the women, obviously, the Aruba, Prime Minister, Mrs. Evelyn Waver Cruz. I think that was exciting. And then I saw, wait a minute, look, that's Susana Maduro. We went to school together. And so, how did that come about? How did they find you, and how did that all happen?
Well, like I said, I worked in the hotel sector in the government, and then I was the PR person or spokesperson of the biggest telecom companies in Aruba, and yeah, I know everybody on the island knew me then. I think now they know me also, but you come to the airport, you say, "Do you know Suzy Maduro?" And they will say, She works.
Yes.
She works at Seder. Okay, yes, we know her. So I was very well known, like a politician, and they mentioned me when they were speaking with the ministers, and we have a female prime minister. And I think in those conversations, my name came up because I have a very wide experience working with men. Working with the telecom is a man's world too, when I started. Nowadays, you have more and more, thank God, more women. And I'm a very well. I was very well known in Aruba, and now it's my. I think that the article made me realize I can do more for Aruba than just work for the telecom.
So
And
how did they find you? How did they know to find you and the other ladies in Aruba to highlight you in the article?
I think they research
Oh,
everybody.
wow. That's awesome. That's great. Well, it's a great honor. We're very proud of you. Nos hopi orgulloso, Dibo.
Thank you,
And I hope,
Machitanki.
di nada, and I hope that Aruba continues to really honor you and value what you do because you're very talented and very well trained. And so I'm happy that we were able to connect again after all these years. And any last words you want to give to our audience or the people from Aruba or the United States about you, about the topic you had tonight, which is being the best you can be during COVID?
Yes, my last words would be don't get desperate, don't get down. Think about good things that you had in your life and start and think about starting from scratch. I think that's the best advice I can give anybody in the COVID times. Things will get better eventually, but we have to be calm, think very well, educate ourselves, prepare ourselves for the next level. Because when things are going to get better, we're going to be able to fly high because we prepared ourselves. We're ready for it. And that's the main advice I can give anybody,
Awesome.
anybody to keep positive in hard times, in the COVID times. Keep positive and take care of yourselves. Take care of the ones that you love, and then take care of the rest of the people.
Well, thank you, Susie. If you can, again, please repeat your information. And then I want to end with a quote from your website because I really liked it. And also thanking our viewers today. Please share this recording. We are on, obviously, Able USA Facebook page. Definitely, we're going to have it on Susie's pages, whether her personal and professional pages. And also, we're going to be on YouTube because now with this platform, we're able to stream live on several platforms. So tell us your information again.
They can contact me by contact at suzymaduro.com. I have a Facebook page, Suzy Maduro Consultancy. You find all the rest of the information on that Facebook page. I have a personal Facebook page with positive things every day, and that's Susana Maduro. That's my name. It's written today down there on the screen. But I would like to thank you, Dr. Morrow, for what you're doing too, because in my way, I'm doing it in a small scale, but you're doing it in a wider scale. And if I somehow can help, I'm always at your service. You know that.
Thank you. And you have helped. You have helped already. And but yes, definitely, we'll continue to keep you in mind. Thank you, Susie, for this evening. We had a conversation about her tips for being the best you can be during COVID. And I want to end with her quote: dare to explore all your potential. You can achieve much more than you ever believed possible through courage, hard work, determination, and your public relations. Thank you, Susie. Good night, everyone. Bonochi.
Bye. Bonochi. Bye bye.
Masadanki.
Thank
Ayo.
you.